How do we find energy in a busy day? Okay, let's go over this. So I'm Dr. Mary Rensel, neuroimmunologist. I love to share brain tips to help the busy professional, just know how to work with that amazing organ between your ears, right? So let's do this. This video is going to help give you a few tips on how to stay positive so that you also stay well charged because those go hand in hand. Okay. So I had a webinar for women doctors. A lot of times I serve just women doctors. I coach them to help them get ideas to start a business, or if they have a business, how to grow the business. And I ran a webinar on a Saturday, and guess what? No one came. No one came. But I just recorded it and I put it on YouTube. And I thought, well, maybe someone will see it on YouTube. And so far, 75 people have watched on YouTube. So, you just never know what's going to happen. I love the quote by Dr. Carol Dweck. She wrote a book called Growth Mindset. Highly recommend it if you don't know it. But she reminds us that the future is unknown and unknowable. So we cannot know what's to come. My husband and I were going to be in the Senior Olympics this weekend, and he's like, I'm not going to be the first. I'm not going to be, I might even be the last. It's like, look, the future is unknown and unknowable. We're riding our bike. We're going to do the best we can. We're doing it to be in the Olympics. That was my goal. I wanted to be in the Olympics. And so that's what we're doing. And it doesn't matter if we're first or last or third or whatever. We're just being in the Olympics and we'll see how it goes, right? Okay. So how do we find energy in a busy working day? Number one, we learn things will not always go well. Just like my webinar, sometimes just no one comes. Like I have planned something and people weren't interested. It's fine. I think about it. I look at the data. What did people look for? How many people checked it out? Maybe it was a bad time. Maybe it was a bad idea. Maybe it was something, I can learn from failure. We all can, right? And our brains can. That's what they're known to do. They can learn from mistakes, quote unquote. That's what learning is, trying things and helping our nerves connect more easily. Next time, that's called long-term potentiation. That's when our brains learn. Okay. So busy working day. Sometimes we just get exhausted, right? It's exhausting sometimes to think of the long list you have to get done at work. So how do you, maintain your energy for that kind of day? Well, there's experts that tells us that positive psychology is really important. Carol Dweck is one of them. She's the one that says she's the growth mindset expert. She did a really neat research, which I love, that she did these tests on students and she told the teachers that these students are the gifted students, these ones here. And by the end of the school year, they were the gifted students because the teachers thought they were. So again, it's our expectations because actually they weren't. They graded average, but the teachers thought they were gifted. So by the end of the year, because the teachers, had that idea, that mindset. So depends, with that mindset that we hold, like what do we think can be in the future? So we want to stay positive, just hopeful. We don't know. We don't know what's possible, but we're going to try some things, right? So how do we stay positive? Well, of course, as a neuroimmunologist, I say we use brain wonder, right? So what is brain wonder? So what does that mean? That means that we know our strengths, we know our values. We want to wonder like what keeps our brain's attention. So our brain will keep attention towards something that's important to us or sometimes it's distractions. So there's people who are paid to steal our attention and to distract us all day long, and they're good at it. Okay. So they're really good at it, and they know what our brain needs. Our brain needs, a little surprise once in a while, colorful things, moving, a fast pace that keeps our attention. So we have to be careful of what's grabbing our attention. But what else holds our attention is what's important to us, people that we love. We know when a person we love is talking to us, hopefully we put down our phone and we look them in the eye and we give them time, right? So knowing our strengths, knowing our values, knowing our purpose, what are we really good at, that can help our brain focus. Building habits to have things in place so it's easier for us to do the things that are important for us. Like I did yoga this morning and I did not get my clothes out the night before, but usually I do because I still made it to class. But usually I'll make it there. I was pretty on time today, which was amazing. But, usually if I set my clothes out, that helps me just, it's just easier to get to class. I know my clothes are already ready. So we can make it easier for us to do the things we want to do. Or we could put two things together that are really important to us. Like, let's say you're like, oh, I really want to do 25 minutes on the treadmill, then you only watch your favorite show while you're on the treadmill. You can't turn it on unless you're on the treadmill. So I just put two things together that are really important to you. So we can use Brain Wonder to know our strengths, know our values, know our purpose. What are we really good at? We can use habits to use less brain power to get things done. Do you think about brushing your teeth every day? I heard this lecture that someone said, like, do you think about getting dressed? Have you ever left the house with no clothes on? We get dressed every day. It's not like, oh yeah, we forgot that. It's important. Like we would get arrested, right? So it's what this person's point was, like, do you leave the house without your courage, without your confidence? Some days we just don't have that, but we have clothes on, so we can do it. We can put certain things as priority. So we brush our teeth, maybe you exercise regularly, maybe not. You're trying to put that into your habits. So you build habits towards something closer to where you want to be, right? So your ideal state, you want to get closer to that. If you're like, oh, I wish I was an exerciser, well, then you maybe check out your shoes, check out your clothes, ask a friend, will you walk with me? And then you're an exerciser because you're walking, right? And then how do you recharge? How do you recharge your focus throughout the day so you do have some energy? Well, experts suggest we take 3 times a day, 3 times, 10 minutes to step away from work, step away from your tasks that you need to get done. And instead, maybe you could look at your phone at really like pictures that bring you some great memories. Maybe you're working from home and you're near your furry pet because furry pets help to build our parasympathetic system. So that's our rest and relax system. It's when we digest, when that system is working. And so it's not our focus, get things done system. So we have to make sure if we're at work and we're always focused and task oriented, we need to give it a little break throughout the day. I know I work in healthcare and the keyboards are all full of crumbs because people are eating lunch as they're typing. And I have not seen a clean keyboard in a long time. So I know it keeps going on. So people think they have to eat and get their work done. But really, what the researchers suggest, if you step away for 10 minutes, you can build your cognitive abilities. Let's imagine that your cognitive abilities are like a dinner plate and you put so much on them it's just too full. You can't even begin, it's loaded up. You have to take a break for a little bit so that you can address, you can refresh your cognitive abilities. The other thing that really recharges us is when we belong, when someone at work is your friend, when there's someone you like to talk with, or you step out and you have a conversation with a friend. So, and also being creative, which is great news. So, if you are creative in your job, that also helps to refuel your focus and your energy. So, creativity, belonging, habits, stepping away. So, refilling your parasympathetic system throughout the day. Um, and then also knowing your strengths. So do what you're good at. If you're not good at something, then build those skills slowly with the new habits. Okay. So interesting study from Dr. Tan from China. He looked at 464 students, medical students, in the first year and third year, and saw if they were more um, growth mindset, meaning they thought, they could learn and figure things out, work hard and get things done, or were they more fixed, like I'm intelligent, so I can do it. So Dr. Carol Dweck suggests that we don't want a fixed mindset because we think we're only so intelligent. That's how we are. We can never change. So sometimes I say, the fixed mindset is like if you're a brick, or growth mindset is more of a garden. Okay. So a garden, there can be things going wrong. There could be weeds and things, but you could figure it out and clean it up and get a hoe and you could put seeds and you could take out the weeds. So, there's a lot of things you can do positively for a garden. Okay. So in this study by Dr. Tan, he looked at intelligence versus talent. So talent is like something you can build, like skill building, right? And he did surveys and focus groups, and he talked to the medical students first and third year. What was their belief about mindset? They did qualitative analysis, conceptualization, achievement, motivation, their source of their mindset formation. And it turned out by year 3, they had the notion that they were more fixed, where in year 1, they had more open mind that they could learn. And so that happened over the 3 years of med school, at least in this one study. It was published in the Journal of Medical Education in 2025. And it was looking at Eastern culture medical students. The primary author was Dr. Tan. So you could see in that study, they started out with an open mind, thought that they could learn and grow and build skills. But by the third year, they thought they were pretty fixed. They were who they were and they couldn't change much. So again, we want to go back to Dr. Carol Dweck's suggestions that we can learn and we can grow. So again, how do we get to that positive state where we even think that we can learn, where we can feel hope that there could be a change? We can start learning. We can put ourselves in the position of being a newbie at something. It's not fun. There will be feelings when you're a newbie. Okay, so let's say I'm new at golf, which I am the last 2 years, 3 years. It doesn't feel good. I don't know the game. I didn't know what to wear. I didn't know the rules. I'm still learning like some of the culture of the game. And we just have to keep, my husband and I are learning. So we just have to say we're new at this. Please, explain things to us. Like if we book a tea time and then we're with somebody we don't know, that we have to tell them like we're new at this. We're glad to, skip this all or whatever, we need to do to stay on time. But people have been very kind. So being new at something, you just have to keep an open mind and admit that you're new, you're ready to learn lessons. And then connecting with others gives us strength, and staying creative gives us strength. It gives us positive feelings. Positive feelings are not like happy, everything's fine. Positive feeling is like, I have hope that this can be different, that we together as a team can figure this out. And we can look at our emotions. There's something like the weather, and they can predict, what our feelings are towards a certain project or towards a certain person. And so they can give us some signals of what our thoughts are about things. And we can stay flexible, cognitively flexible, try things in new ways. If a meeting is always run in a certain room, maybe try it in a different way. If it's always a certain length of time, maybe try it a new way, kind of shake it up a little bit, because we don't want to be so fixed that everything's always the same. Okay. So growth mindset is when we use the word failure and instead we use the word, oh, it's a learning opportunity. We're learning. Okay. And effort is praised over outcomes. So just how hard did a person work on something? Did you really try? Did you really try everything you could to get that project done? If it didn't work, it was a quote unquote failure. It was a learning opportunity. Fine, as long as you put full effort toward it. And growth mindset also looks at the long game, so that we are looking at not only the details of today, but what is our goal in the long run? How will our work help our communities? What are the benefits of this project? Okay. So in Brain Fresh, I love to help busy professionals increase their work-life balance and feel empowered and also peaceful because they're neuro-informed. They know how to work with their brain to help them get through a busy day at work and to, get closer to their long-term goals. Work can be exhausting and there could be a lot of negativity at work. So by learning, by connecting, by staying flexible, we can keep our growth mindset level up. We can think of the long game. We can say, hey, the future is unknown and unknowable. That's Dr. Carol Dweck's quote from The Growth Mindset. Highly recommend it. And we can look for opportunities to increase our positive mindset. Sean Achor is a lecturer, keynote speaker, and author from Harvard, Sean Achor, and he talks about just big possibilities, that the negative can dominate the workplace, the negative mindset, but we can find the positive things that happen in a meeting. We can keep our eyes open for someone being kind, someone being thoughtful, someone giving an interesting suggestion. And so we have to make sure that the loudest voices are the positive voices, the people that see the future and that there's hope towards a solution. Okay. So imagine feeling empowered, peaceful, spreading positive emotions by appreciating people's time and attention. We do that in Brain Fresh. I do that by coaching one-on-one with women doctors. I'm also starting to do a 1 hour consult for women doctors. So we can look at their business for an hour and just see where they need to go, because I'm a trained business coach by the Hello 7 company, and there's 7 levels of business. And so I can tell them exactly where they are and where they need to go, what their quote unquote homework is or graduation list is to get to the next level. So, we have to think about our strengths. Our connections are actually strengths, especially if they're fortifying connections, if they're connections that mean something to us. Our habits are meaningful. Time to recharge is really important. Being creative is really important. That's renewing. And then that positive mindset that we don't know the future, but if we work hard towards something that's important to us, the sky's the limit, right? You got this, guys. All right. So reach out with your questions at thebrainfresh@gmail.com and link, subscribe and like, and just follow me on YouTube. I would love it. Okay. All the best.